If you've read Cormac McCarthy's The Road, you know that it would be hard to find a darker novel, or a more gripping one. McCarthy creates a vivid story world that is burned out, barren, and terrifyingly devoid of life. We never learn exactly what happened to planet Earth, but the characters clearly find themselves in the aftermath of a comprehensive mass extinction, not just of life on land and in the oceans, but also imminently of the human species itself. What McCarthy's 21st century fictional masterpiece does is to give readers the experience of environmental apocalypse in purely emotional terms. It's a frightening story and an extremely dark story, not just in terms of the premise and plot, but literally dark. A nameless father and son travel through a world that is dead and barren and absolutely devoid of color, like an art house movie in muted black and white. Here's a brief passage selected almost at random to give you a feel for it. Just beyond the gap in the mountain, they stood and looked over the great gulf to the south, where the country, as far as they could see, was burned away, the blackened shapes of the rock standing out of the shoals of ash and billows of ash rising up and blowing down country through the waste. The track of the dull sun moving unseen beyond the murk. Notice the color scheme of the passage I just read. Murky blacks and grays, right? There are no other colors. It's a fitting landscape for an utterly bleak novel, though a novel that is also irresistibly propulsive. Reading the opening pages of The Road is like entering a tunnel. Suddenly you realize that you can't put this book down. You have to keep speeding through the tunnel until you emerge on the other side. And then, on the last page, we get this amazing passage. Once there were brook trout in the streams in the mountains. You could see them standing in the amber current where the white edges of their fins wimpled softly in the flow. They smelled of moss in your hand, polished and muscular and torsional. On their backs were vermiculate patterns that were maps of the world in its becoming, maps and mazes, of a thing which could not be put back, not be made right again. In the deep glens where they lived, all things were older than man, and they hummed of mystery. To me, these sentences stand out in high relief because they're so different than the rest of the novel. The murky and frightening black and gray color scheme of the post-apocalypse has suddenly altered. We're now experiencing a living world full of color and beauty and light, and it's the previous world now lost forever. But even though it's just describing a memory, this single paragraph at the end of this otherwise mercilessly dark novel strikes a note of relief that feels, to me at least, like waking up from a nightmare. Because McCarthy's message is clear. The novel is about the road we're on as a species, but we still have a chance to avoid the future. We can still go visit that trout stream. So if you enjoy this kind of analysis, keep an eye on my YouTube channel at timweed2, or go to my website, www.timweed.net. Have a great day.